Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, we find out how to successfully expand your operation. Look at an Aussie manufacturer beating away the naysayers and get some winning business tips from Dropbox. Welcome to another episode of KBB. It is a cracker today. We're going to get to the bottom of knowing when it's time to expand, a problem so many small businesses face. And then drop into Buckaroo Leatherworks, the tool belt manufacturer run by a bubbly mum who says that being Australian made is their greatest strength. Plus, there are business insights from Silicon Valley's Dropbox, and we'll pick apart another of your startup ideas in elevator pitch. So, a big show ahead of us today. Let's get into it with news you can use. Online retail is exploding in Australia, and apparel is now one of the quickest growing categories, according to independent research commissioned by Australia Post. Over the last 2 years, this research showed online apparel sales have grown 11.8%, beating electronics and garden goods to be the boom sector of the online retail space. What are shoppers looking for, though, in a top-notch store? The survey of more than 10,000 Australians found that buyers love seeing how-to guides, designer profiles and new arrivals, so it could be worth adding these to your site if you haven't already. And when it comes to delivery, the younger the consumer, the higher the demand for faster arrivals. So if you're targeting young professionals, young families or youth, ensure there are same-day or express delivery options. As for the reason to buy online, Australians say it's the lower prices, free shipping and greater convenience that gets them in the door. So make sure your site is easy to use and engaging to avoid shoppers abandoning their carts at the last minute. This segment brought to you by Australia Post. Melbourne cafe Tuck & Co has only been running for a few months, but business owner Max reckons he's ready to expand. He just doesn't know how or when. So to help him get the next step right, we sent in NAB's Craig Swinburne to share his advice.
Hi Max, thanks for having us here today.
Hi Craig,
Tuck & Co.
welcome.
Things are all going well?
Oh, it's going really well.
But I'm really interested as to how you got started, because cafes are not your background, are they?
No, it's not. I was a design architect and graphic designer for a few years. I suppose I get to learn to love Melbourne and its street food culture and the cafe culture. And eventually I decided to create something from scratch for my own self.
One of the keys to any successful business is the people, right?
Yes,
You've got to find people that tap into your vision and sort of feel the passion for your business like you do.
Absolutely.
How hard has that been to get the right people here?
It has been quite a long process because this was completely empty shell. The renovation was happening. That was when the time that I was looking for the right people to join the team.
And that's worked out well.
It has been so far, yes.
Brilliant. So Max, you've been in business about 4 months, is that right?
4 months now, yes.
So what would be your biggest challenges that you've faced over the last 4 months?
Everything, because I have zero experience in this kind of hospitality industry. Coming from design background, I learned everything from scratch and with the help of a lot of people as well as the help from them. So in the very beginning, the bank has actually played a very important role for a small business starter like myself to actually get everything organized and start from scratch.
Brilliant. What's the growth been like?
It has been quite a gradual but steady growth. We use kind of a lot of software to measure our performance down to the hour. And it has been showing very kind of optimistic trends so far. I would like a 100% satisfaction rate for my coffee drinkers and burger eaters around here. Yeah.
Brilliant. So if we look at your business, you've created a terrific ambience, great atmosphere, lots of loyal customers, great food, you've got great people. What's next?
That's something that I want to know. I have always been thinking about expansion and develop it into something else, but I probably need a bit of guidance.
One of the things I'm a little bit concerned about is if you're looking to expand too early, you've only got 4 months of cash flow. It's really good to get 12 months because then you can see the seasonal flows. You'll certainly see an uplift in summer, but also over January, because you're exposed to a lot of office workers, you'll see a big downturn as everyone disappears for the Christmas holidays.
After the break, Craig shares his checklist for knowing when it's time to grow a business. If you're wondering whether to expand your operations, don't miss it. Before the break, we found out about Max and his new cafe, Tuck & Co. Now, NAB's Craig Swinburne shares his simple acronym to see if Max is ready to grow.
Well, because I'm not very experienced in the kind of business background area. What's your kind of view on this kind of small business?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. A lot of our customers ask us that, and it's not an easy one to answer, actually. It's a little bit of the instinct and balanced by, I guess, research and some facts. I've actually got an acronym which is fairly apt for your business, which might just help us with that, going through some of those things, and it's called RECIPE.
Recipe.
Right, RECIPE. So the R for recipe stands for replicate. If you think about all the unique factors you've got here that are working for you, how easy would it be for you to sort of pick that up and place it somewhere else and be just as successful? So that's a key one. Another one, the E, is external factors. So they're the things that you don't directly influence but have a massive impact on your business. Now, it could be anything. It could be local regulations or council bylaws. It could be what's happening in the cafe industry. Is there something innovative and new and great that's sort of taking customers in that direction? And can you flex to meet that need? The C stands for cash. Well, in fact, there's two C's, cash flow and capital. Obviously, when you open up new premises, you need capital. You're going to buy another coffee machine or two, your furniture and fittings, that sort of thing. And cash flow. Cash flow is key. As soon as you unlock the door, you need to pay, as you know, for your employees' salaries, your stock, all those sort of things. And the key to that is to make sure that the ability to cash flow the new premises isn't too much of a draw on this place. You need to be able to be confident enough that this is producing enough to finance the next one. Max, the I represents individual. So that's you. So how important are you to this place in terms of its success? And how much time would you have to dedicate to the new premises? A lot of people underestimate just how much time is involved with making the new premises or the new business work. So you need great people here that can step up and take your role in ensuring that the ambience here continues. And the P is people. Sort of leads off on that, right? You've got great people here, great talent, people that do share your vision and the passion for the business. How easy would it be to find them again? Because that's critical. And look, the last one, the E, is external advice. And again, don't underestimate the external advice. So good legal advice if you're looking for new premises, a great accountant that can help you with your cash flow forecast, your financials, and of course, your terrific NAB banker. If you get those three fully informed, they'll really help you. nab.com.au under small business has some terrific tools and products and guides, and business.gov.au also is a great source of information.
Fantastic.
Well, Max, thanks for chatting to me. It's been absolutely fantastic, and you should be very proud, as we are at NAB, of what you've achieved here. Thanks very much, Max. Cheers.
I love Max's passion and creativity, and I also loved Craig's sort of recipe acronym. Is it important for every small business to do something similar?
Well, I think the recipe acronym is a fantastic example of some bullet points that you can hold yourself true to and accountable so that you can keep yourself on the path to success. And I think that's really critical when you're starting out in a business and you're inexperienced, because you're learning every day on the job. And so something like that recipe acronym can really, really help.
And a key to success is the passion of the business owner, isn't it? You've got to love it. Max was a graphic designer, had a passion for a cafe, so started it.
This is a fascinating story. This is someone that moved from something completely different to start their own small business dream. But I think it's really important you continue to learn, because you're learning on the job every day in small business.
Yep.
So you need to make sure that you've got your business bedded down and operating the way that you need to before you think about future expansion.
Because an untimely expansion can put pressure on you.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, cash flow is absolutely critical to small business. So if you're setting up and looking to expand into a new business, that can have a real drain on your cash flow, and that can actually impact on the business that you've already set up and got operating.
That is a great tip, Tim. All right, from one startup to maybe a potential startup, this week's elevator pitch. Thanks for joining us on this week's Elevator Pitch. We have a cracking panel with us today, as usual, to look at your pitch. We've got the money, the tech, and the startup. Hit us.
Hi, Kochie in the world. My name's Carlos, and I'm one of the co-founders of Anywhere Tax. Tax is boring. How do I know? Because I need to lodge one every year. and I'm pretty sure that everyone watching this has to lodge one too. Everything from looking for a tax agent, getting your documents together, booking an appointment, traveling to your agent. Even if you're doing it online, you still need to scan all your documents and send it via email. Everyone I know doesn't look forward to this part of the year. So we thought that this is a problem that needs fixing. So we created a mobile app that lets you do your tax returns straight from the palm of your hand. We put the power and the accountant right back into your hand.
Carlos, very snappy pitch, I must admit. Lots of energy, which is terrific. Michael, a few already doing it, aren't they?
That's right. One of the key things is in businesses like this, when it comes to financial services or taxation, the complicated matters. A lot of people, again, they like someone else to assist them.
Is it an under 35 market?
It could be a younger market because for someone like me, I still think I like to get the best advice and I like to use someone else that's very good at doing so.
Yeah, not everyone wants to be in the Bahamas though, Michael. Anna, what do you think?
I think you're right. I think it depends on the target audience that you're going after. So someone younger, very straightforward, tax return, a couple of receipts, why not do it this way? You know, my mum, part-time, retired, very straightforward again, nothing too complicated. If you can just do it very straightforward and on your phone, why not? But I think it's to your point, if you do have, you know, investments, stocks, anything a little bit more complicated, you do want the two-way conversation.
Yep. Matt?
I think it is targeted towards my age group. I think it's targeted towards that kind of like 35.
Well, you're saying you're young now.
I'm young. Yeah, of course I'm young.
We believe you.
I think that they will have a little bit of difficulty because there is so much competition. One suggestion to him would probably be maybe go and look at how you can leverage off a bigger accounting firm that does have the money behind it, but not necessarily that technological know-how, and enter some kind of strategic partnership. You know, you can split revenues and do all types of things there, and that could be a really great way to scale.
Carlos, love your enthusiasm, gem of an idea, be careful of it, but some great advice from the experts there. Coming up, we find out how being Australian-made has helped Buckaroo Leather grow their brand. Plus, Dropbox share their secrets to success. Stay tuned. Buckaroo Leatherworks is a great Australian business, manufacturing tool belts and accessories in good old Wollongong in New South Wales. To find out how they've not only kept making products here in Australia, but absolutely thrived doing so, we caught up with the business owner, Tanya Vanderwater.
There's nothing quite like the sights and smells of a leather shop. Tanya, how did Buckaroo get started?
So our history dates back to 1971. So that was when my dad started working with leather, and that was back in South Africa. So he came to Australia in the 80s and set up shop again here. So I got involved when I was in my late teens. So he offered me the opportunity to join the family business, and Buckaroo, as we know it today, pretty much evolved after that period when he diversified the business.
Now, you're a young female CEO in a traditionally male-dominated industry. Has that presented any unique challenges?
Not yet. It does have its pros and cons because it is a very much male-dominated industry. But I think the fact that I'm female sometimes works. It has its strengths because I'm able to see things a little bit more differently. You know, we take a lot of pride, for example, in how our products are packaged, and that's pretty unique in the tools and hardware side of things. Most products are just slapped together and stuck on the shelf. And that's
rough and ready.
Yeah.
And how's the business changed under your stewardship?
And a big decision for me was making sure that we had a brand that could actually be much more accessible and much more widely accessed. So we stopped selling to the public. And that allowed for us to propel forward in that we then became a brand that was a supplier to major resellers. And that's given us a lot of brand recognition, and that's really made sure that Buckaroo is firmly cemented in this industry.
So what do the processes look like within the factory here?
So we pretty much have a flow line. So we start off with our pre-production and our cutting, where we get all our leather and our materials ready. And then it just travels through the factory depending on the product, going hand to hand to hand. And then as a finished product, hopefully at the end of that stage, it's 100% ready to go out the door with no faults.
And so how important is it for the brand and the business that your products remain Australian made?
Yeah, it's very important for us. We have a very unique way of working and we have a lot of loyalty when it comes to our products being Australian made. It's definitely a strength for us as a competitor in the marketplace. So it has a lot to do with our history and where we're going now moving forward. It's definitely a priority.
Because it is all manufactured right here in Wollongong. Any other reasons that you've resisted the urge to go offshore?
Quality control is a big one for us. We're sending out tens and tens of thousands of products a year. If we were to go offshore, we feel that we'd really lose that quality control.
Now, you've got a really loyal workforce here. How have you gone about securing those skills in the local market?
Well, it's a unique type of way in which we work, you know, and we hope that that is something that can be valued, particularly in our area. And with the type of work we're doing, there's not much manufacturing like this going on in Australia. So we have a traineeship. So it's the only traineeship that's going on at the moment in Australia for, it's specifically for leather work. And that's in conjunction with TAFE.
And that TAFE course is something you recognise as a shortage and proactively pursued yourself?
Yeah, that's right. So we are aware of the fact that there's no apprenticeships for leather work anymore. It's definitely a dead trade. We actually approached TAFE and presented our problem to them and said, look, we've got staffing shortages. We want to train up the next generation. What are you able to offer us? Now, the founder and your father, Ken, passed away 2 years ago now. Did he have any parting advice for you? Don't work on Saturdays, which I still do. Yeah, he wanted to make sure that I maintained the life-work balance. You know, when it's yours, you work hard in it. You want to put in the hours because you're getting something back that's more than a job. Because you've got 3 young kids of your own now. I do. How do you manage your work-life balance? Supportive husband and people around me, that very much helps. But I just try to make sure that I lead by example with them. My kids are always in the factory. And I hope that they can see the value in what we're doing and see that it's special. And where do you see Buckaroo in 5-10 years' time? Definitely exporting. There's a lot of interest in the product. We've got a European reseller now. We're moving into Southeast Asia. But we're prepared now to look at doing that on a much more mass scale because we've got the capacity to produce. So we just want to get our stuff out there. It's a terrific business story, Tanya. Thanks for sharing it with us. Thank you.
I just love a good Aussie manufacturing story. As Tanya said, she has set Buckaroo apart with good packaging, stringent quality control, and by securing great local staff through a traineeship that she introduced. Now, that is really smart business. Now, we've got the latest tech tip coming up, but first, it's time for Lessons from Legends with Dropbox.
The first tip is every business has the ability to be global. There are 3 billion people connected to the internet, so if you have a good idea and you're innovative, you can reach them all. Second tip is learn from your customers. I spend a lot of time traveling the world talking to customers of Dropbox. Each time I learn something new that can make our product better and deliver better for our customers. And the third is make sure you hire a team that complements your own skills. Everybody's good at something, but nobody's good at everything. So I spend a ton of my time hiring people, probably interview 5 people a week to help build the Dropbox team. Those are my tips for the day. Thank you.
It's Tech Tip time with Val Quinn.
For most businesses, customer is king. And if you don't know your customer, then you don't have a business. While studies have shown that data-driven companies are, on average, 5% more productive and 6% more profitable than their competitors, small businesses may find it challenging to implement data-driven practices in their normal business operations. Feedback can also quickly identify unhappy customers. And customer feedback can identify gaps in your offering, which will help inform, guide, or validate business roadmaps and development. A better understanding of your customers' needs and requests will enable you to ship better products or launch more attractive services to grow your business. You'd be surprised how many customers are happy to provide feedback too, making your job easier. You can implement a survey to appear right on your website using a tool like SurveyMonkey, SurveyGizmo, or PollDaddy. Give it a try.
It's Ask Kochie time again, and this week Donna asked us on Facebook, I have a 15-year-old daughter who's keen to start her own business. She's been doing Instagram for companies but wants to take it to the next level. Is there a business course she could do? Donna, how fantastic to foster entrepreneurial skills in your kids from such a young age. Now, there's a group called Club Kidpreneur. It's a great resource doing exactly that for primary school kids. There are also code clubs in a lot of schools that are teaching kids how to do their own computer coding. For older young adults, business schools and TAFEs offer short-term entrepreneurship and business management courses and workshops. But probably the best thing right now is to find her a business mentor that she can ask questions of and get guidance on growing her social business. Further down the track, the support structures for entrepreneurs at universities, no matter what they study, is really strong. And using campus resources to launch ventures and meet future business partners is a great route to take. It's a very exciting future. For other resources, information and inspiration, head to kbbtv.com.au and join our weekly newsletter, and good luck to your budding entrepreneur. Coming up on next week's show, we learn how to turn a hobby into a business, get the uplifting startup story of a famous Aussie undies brand, and sip on some tips from a young iced tea business.